Hi, I'm State Representative John Lesch. This is my first video message to you in the wake of our May 17th constitutional adjournment, so its effects have had a little more than a week to sink in. On the bright side of things, many legislators are touting our solution to the state's $3 billion fiscal crisis, implementing targeted reforms that leverage federal dollars without cuts to schools or nursing homes. There were also efforts to protect kids in our schools, seniors and their caregivers, and our communities from damaging cuts. Finally, we did balance the budget without relying on the $408 million in federal FMAP dollars that have not yet arrived. If the FMAP funds arrive, they will fall to the state's bottom line to protect the state's cash flow. The end of session agreement did craft an opportunity for the sitting governor to opt into early medical assistance beginning on July 1st, 2010 as a matter of state law. If he does do this, then for every dollar we send to Washington, we receive $7 in return, recapturing $1.4 billion of our tax dollars and putting it to work for all Minnesotans. It also protects rural hospitals and nursing homes, preserves and creates 21,000 jobs, covers 100,000 Minnesotans, and bends the healthcare cost curve to make care more affordable to all Minnesotans. You may recall that earlier in session, the governor vetoed our offer to care for the sickest and poorest Minnesotans through a general assistance medical care fix. From day one, the DFL House was committed to a plan that provided care for those Minnesotans in a way that protects hospitals, patients, and taxpayers. The budget agreement fixes the GAMC issue for rural hospitals by requiring the Department of Human Services to offer them the same deal Metro hospitals accepted. It also increases $10 million for non-CCO hospitals so patients receive care and rural hospitals are reimbursed adequately. While we in the Metro benefit from a wealth of state-of-the-art healthcare facilities all around us, it is also our duty to ensure that rural Minnesota is not left without adequate hospital resources. And now for the downside. Despite rhetoric to the contrary, we did not solve this budget deficit without raising taxes. If you believe that hyperbole over no new taxes, I invite you to examine your property tax statements over these past 8 years, the golden age of no new taxes. I know I paid my property taxes on May 15th. It didn't feel like no new taxes to me. In fact, mine looked to have gone up 242% in the 8 years since our state went that direction of no new taxes. This is directly related to Tim Pawlenty's refusal to fund St. Paul's and other cities' police and fire departments, thereby forcing our public safety costs onto local property taxes. Edina can afford that. Minnetonka probably can too. But his actions were meant to punish poorer communities, and that's just not right. Meanwhile, jobs have left Minnesota, all while state government has closed up shop on funding education, clean air and water, public safety, pothole-free roads, and a healthy community. This philosophy of government has no place in the Minnesota where I grew up, nor does it in my daughter's Minnesota. I don't have to disagree with this neocon statement that starving government and giving billionaires tax favors will bring us prosperity. I don't have to because our state, under the Pawlenty administration, has proven those promises to be hollow. Under this philosophy, a philosophy embraced also by Tom Emmer and his GOP allies, Minnesota has fewer jobs, poorer schools, more expensive health care, and bumpier roads. Services like high school sports, local pools, or state parks, which were once financed by your property and income taxes, now demand additional user fees or surcharges. Access to our shared state resources has been put out to bid and privatized. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out who wins and who loses when you raise the price of being a Minnesotan. It is for these and other reasons that I was one out of 6 DFLers who voted no on the final budget deal worked out between the governor and legislative leaders. It may be true that sometimes you can only eat the scraps that fall from the master's table, but you, the Minnesota citizen, has paid for the full entree, and you're entitled to more than scraps. It is my hope that a less intransigent governor next year will allow us to begin moving forward again. But these past 8 years have taken us far afield from our forebears' course of integrity, and it's going to take every Minnesotan's contribution to right the course of the ship of state. I look forward to hearing from you.